Africa. Hello and welcome, Africa. As you know, I'm Fidel. I'm the founder of Frontrunner. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed, why haven't you subscribed? Click on the subscription button and stay there. As you know, on Thursday, we talk about African football. And later on, we'll be dabbling a bit on the PSL. I'm joined by Calvin Sosibo and Greg Itafia, and hopefully later on, I'll be joined by Obina Okafor. Evening, Greg and Soso. Evening, guys.
Evening.
Evening. It's good to be back on the show again. One more time.
Okay, cool. Now we're gonna start with yes, comfortably at home. I'm gonna start with you, Greg. Just quickly, like, you're a former soccer player, if the World Cup had to be held every 2 years, how do you see it? Do you see there's more opportunities for teams to get to the World Cup, or they're not thinking about the players who are playing in the World Cup?
Yeah, first of all, good evening to our viewers and listeners. I feel it's two ways we can look at it, because right now, FIFA are thinking about, giving other countries opportunity, to expand it so that, like other country, we have the opportunity to qualify. Example is typically with the European tournaments now, in terms of with the ones before they qualify with 10, but right now they have the opportunity to qualify with 25 out of 55 European countries. So I think FIFA, they are looking at that aspect to give a lot of countries opportunity to go to the World Cup. But in after two years, I think it's good and it's bad. There's bad and it's good part of it again, because the good part of it is, okay, you have only 2 windows in terms of qualifiers, when you play the qualifiers. So they give you probably a month in September, October, September, if I'm not mistaken, and they give you another month, which is in March, according to the explanation we are getting from FIFA. So the players can, it's like a group, they group everyone to play in that stage and for you to qualify. So, but in terms of the player, it's going to be too much competition. There's too much strength on players, but they say that, the clubs, in a year, they can have the player, in terms of 7 months, they can have the player can be with the club, than to go in and out and play qualifiers, in terms of probably over a year. So they need to manage it, and you give more opportunity, for revenues in terms of other countries that need development, other countries that need to be in the World Cup. I think it's good in terms of the marketing, in terms of financial wise, but in terms of the player, I think a lot of players, is going to be taxing for them to cope with this situation.
It's what I was thinking. So things like periodization, things like rest for players, surely and also without the players, there is no World Cup.
Yep.
And if the players are tired, what will happen to the quality of football in that World Cup?
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, we just have to look at it in two folds. One, in the monetary value, and also players getting more opportunity in terms of being scouted. Also boosting other leagues to have more players on their windows that they can sell abroad, and then they can cash in on that. Clubs are going to make money out of it. Yes. Now, when it comes to the coaching perspective, we have to look at it in a way now. How would the national teams plan for these tournaments now, since they've been extended? It's good to have action, but it's good to also manage players in terms of energy-wise, and also having players to have a highly tactical and quality actions in the field of play. Yeah, I understand in the case of when Greg says players are going to be tired, but I think this is an opportunity where you're going to be in the window of the international standard. So in a way, it gives us an opportunity to have a lot of players that are going to be playing abroad. So having a lot of players playing abroad, being selected from these tournaments that will be hosted in a shorter space, it makes sense to me that if it goes on, there's so many unearthed talents that we still want to see and ship out from the country.
I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome Obina. Obina, welcome. Unmute. Obina, welcome.
Thank you, Stipiwe.
Welcome all the way. You just came back from Nigeria, right? Recently. Yeah. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. You also played with Calvin Sosibo.
Yeah. I played with him in Maritzburg United.
He's here with us. He's here with us.
Yeah.
welcome, Obina.
Hey, Sosibo.
You good, my brother?
I'm well.
Okay,
hey, you're looking fit. Yeah?
Enough Kungule Kaya. Let's move on. Obina, we're talking about the World Cup every 2 years. What are your thoughts?
Guys, look, football has gone, it has gone business-wise. And I believe FIFA is just only thinking about business. Because if we really look at the periodization of players, the rest, and also the teams that are also involved with these players, paying their salaries, so much, and losing them every 2 years. They've been crying, losing them every 4 years. Then also coming every 2 years now, you have to look at also the African Cup of Nations, the Nations Cups, or within that is also 2 years. And there are so many games these guys are playing. So I don't think it would be a good idea to play every 2 years. 4 years has been the best in order for players to rest. But okay, when we look at business-wise, marketing-wise for FIFA, which they also looking at it to also fetch more money for FIFA, then it's okay for them. But it goes both ways, For FIFA, it's okay, but for the players and clubs, I think it's very difficult for them.
Again, I repeat, without the players, there is no World Cup because they are the product. So if they are tired, lethargic, what kind of World Cup are we going to have? Like the World Cup is already expanded, to 48 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg, staying with you there.
Yeah, with this proposal from FIFA, I understand Arsene Wenger, who is the driving force of this development coming up now. I think he's trying to earn his salary and trying to change something, consulting with a lot of players in terms of the former players, the Ronaldos, and co, which he says that they gave him the go-ahead. I mean, World Cup, for the first World Cup that have been played in 1930 and coming to this century now, we're talking about changing it now. Yes, it's good to change a lot of things, but, every 2 years, I think, as I said earlier, it's going to be good for, financial reason. But with the players, I think it's going to be more taxing to them. You have the Champions League, you're talking about, you have the Nations Cup, you have the a lot of tournament that is going on. But nevertheless, I just feel like, for now, them bringing the proposal now, which I don't think is going to happen now within now and 2026 in Qatar. We're talking about 2028, going forward, for them to apply these new rules, So, but right now, a lot of people are in the opinion that it's not going to occur well in terms of the players, position, in terms of what the coaches are saying, Obina and Kevin. I just feel like, there's a lot of things need to go into it because without the players, there's no World Cup. And now you're losing players in terms of 4 Nations Cup and World Cup. Now it's going to be, you can't see a lot of, I can't say good players. I'm talking about in terms of the best of best, you need the best of the best to come to play in the World Cup. World Cup is the ultimate. And if they're not playing the World Cup, I mean, there's no need to have it every two years. You better leave it in the 4 years, which everyone, you know, we will be comfortable with going to the World Cup. But what they are saying now, because they are saying that in October, they can give the club or the country, they give the country that time for the qualifiers. They group it, and it's going to be in October and March. So they have that time to play the qualifiers, and the World Cup will be in the following year. So we understand all those arguments they are putting forward, that they're going to give a club will have their players for over 7 months, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, you need to go to holiday. And they say that it's compulsory after the tournament. After every 2 years, players must have minimum of 21 days rest. That's compulsory, you know, by the law that they're going to give to the clubs. They must have 21 days rest. I mean, which is not enough, because, you know, it's not enough for players. You know, players have a lot of things to do. You know, normally I think you need to rest 1 month plus. You know, 21 days, you know, I think is not enough. But I think this argument we keep on going until we find a solution to come, you know, into agreement within the players and with the FIFA, because FIFA, I mean, ultimately everyone wants to go to the World Cup, but at this moment now, I think it's not suitable for the players. It's suitable for FIFA in terms of financial reason, but the players is not suitable for them.
We'll leave it there for now, Greg. In other news, South Africa is bidding to host the FIFA Club World Cup. It's about time, considering the infrastructure that's in the country. Okay, now we're going to move to Egypt. Egypt fired their coach, Soso, and they've hired Carlos Queiroz. I'm not sure if you worked with him in your junior structures at SAFA while he was in SA. He's coaching Egypt now. How do you see that move?
Yeah, I think it was maybe long overdue for the Pharaohs. Looking at the coach's pedigree, he's the coach that led Bafana for 2 years, between 2000 and 2002. He goes there and replaces Hassan Badri. Despite of the draw that happened, but I think they have always been in contact with the coach. A good coach, very good student of the game, who has given opportunity to his now assistant coach, Roger Disa. He's gave him the light, who now is part of, who has coached a lot of clubs in the PSL and gave them a touch of success. So it says a lot about mentorship and the coach himself, that how far he's come from in terms of the game. Also leading his native, Portugal, from 1991 to 93 and 2008 to 2010. So the coach is well traveled. Also at Real Madrid, he was also part of that team. So I think what they went for now in Egypt, they went for more somebody that is experienced, that will give them that cushion and that drive. Not saying that Badri wasn't the guy, but I think the pressure of the result and the Pharaohs wanting to really, really qualify, they needed this guy to come through on board and then execute the plan that they have, because now he knows what he has to do. It's straight up in terms of them getting that qualifier, going to the World Cup. It means a lot to them, so they have to really, really qualify. I didn't work with him at the junior national team level, but now and again he will come and assess our under 20 and under 23 to give an overview to Steve Kompela, who was then our coach by that time. And he was always a coach that is more fond of players trying to keep their identity and making sure that we grow within the structure.
Obina, there's no doubt that Carlos Queiroz is very experienced. You know, he took Iran to the World Cup twice, and Colombia. His stint with Colombia wasn't so well, but basically Egyptians can expect a lot from this man.
Look, I'm one of a fan of Carlos ever since he was with Manchester United. being also with Manchester, being also a Manchester United fan. And you know, he worked with Alex Ferguson, came to South Africa, then went back to Man United again, second stint. But where caught my eyes was when he was with Iran, when they played in the World Cup. You could see the way Iran was playing, moving the ball, the speed, you know, the speed they played with, you know, tactical approach. I think he's also building his name in the world football, in country footballs, you know. So I haven't really watched him in club side per se as a coach, but really in even when he was in Portugal, you know. So one way or the other, he's a very good coach. And I believe with the word he has given out to the players, you know, knowing, or like he said, he knows that Egyptian players are players that wants to win, that him also is a coach that wants to win. So everybody must expect winning, you know. So I know he's in there for the job, and I believe he's a very good candidate. And going with somebody that he works with here in Bafana, Roger Desa, I think it will be a very good combination. Also, he's bringing some legendary players from Egypt to join the technical team, you know, that knows more about the country, about the team. I believe he will do well from the start. He has already done well, but from his technical appointees, I believe he'll do very well.
True. A lot of expectation from Egyptians. Great. Home-based or homegrown coaches such as, look at Charles Ackonor, he was fired. In South Africa, Molefi Ntseki was shown the boot. In Kenya, Jacob Ghost Mulee was also fired recently. What is it that with home-based, even in Egypt with Carlos Queiroz, he's coming in for a local. What is it that the local guys are not getting right? You know, like it's not a trend, but Aliou Cisse in Senegal is doing well, you know, on the job.
Yeah.
But with those ones, or what do you think it all went pear-shaped?
I think, you know, this depends on the country you are coaching, you know, because if you look the likes of Aliou Cisse in Senegal, he has to do well because the caliber of players Senegalese they have, I mean, the top class, you know, the quality all around. You know, we have the likes of the late Stephen Keshi that did well with Nigerian national team. We have the likes of Shaaba Modu that did well with Nigerian national team. There's a lot of countries that have local home-based coaches that did very well. But one focus the home-based coaches are not really emphasizing on is the local league. They need to encourage the local boys in terms of the local league. You know, try to get the best of the best in that local league so that they can rub it, you know, with the ones coming from overseas. You know, and other thing I just think. Sometimes if you have too many overseas players, you know, thinking that they're bigger than the local coaches, that's one problem again. You know, they intend to undermine, you know, in terms of the instruction, in terms of the game plan. You know, you give example the likes of Ghana. You know, the majority of their players, you know, they come from overseas and they work with top coaches there. So, but if you emphasize or you have a person like Stephen Keshi, the late Stephen Keshi, and Aliou Cisse that played the game to the highest level. The players intend to respect more and know that okay, this is what they're saying. They intend to buy to their philosophy in terms of what they need to do to move forward. You know, yeah. So if you don't have that big profile, you know, it's a problem. For my opinion, I think, you know, when you get a lot of overseas players playing the big team, it's always a problem. But at the end of the day, if you are lucky enough to have a group of home-based players that can carry your team with the international ones coming from overseas, you can achieve and go forward with that situation. But if you have out of 100%, you just, only 30% of or 40%, I can say, succeed in this situation when you're a home-based coach.
You agree with those sentiments also that players tend to, I'll say, respect the overseas coaches just a bit more?
Not entirely, but what I will say, just to, on the points that Greg has mentioned, quite important points, but there's one element that we should address and highlight that is very important. Each and every country has a mentality. In our country, we love beautiful football, the show me your number, the shibobos and whatnot. But in the same breath, you also want the result. In other countries, you look at like the English, they're more about the discipline and the result, not much when it comes to the entertainment side. So the effect of players having to respect an international code, for me, I feel as if it's something that needs to be thrown out of the window, because I mean, the coaches that we have within the country are capable and do understand our philosophy and how we play. It's a matter of coaches in our country that what they need to do is just to evolve within the game, but not forgetting our roots on how we play, because we cannot have a European coach coming to the soil and start trying to fit in a philosophy to a 20-year-old. That's already late. You still want to have to teach a person to pass and the tactical work and all of that. That's late for us to do that, but we can try and sift within what we have within the country and work with that. So players having to respect international coaches and disrespect one of their own. One day they're going to be in the same seat as we are, and they have to deliver the job. If you're given a chance and an opportunity in the national team, you are selecting players according to their strength and how they are going to play for the national team. So I think this thing of praising too much of the European side, because there's so many things that we're good at. We have speed, we can dribble. The only elements that we miss more in the game is like our concentration level, maintaining a high quality action in the game, and also the tactical side of the game. If we can work on those, skill comes naturally to us. When we play one ball and all those type of games that we play in our areas, in our countries. Like all African players, skillful, well built. The only thing that is missing is always be the tactical discipline and also understanding the game.
Moving right along. Obina, in Nigeria, Finidi George, Enyimba head coach.
Look, it was shocking for me at first, but he's a coach, he's a professional, he has the qualification. But then when I looked at the list of the coaches that they brought out, they wanted to select from. So I never gave Finidi George a chance. Reason being that he hasn't been in Nigerian league. He hasn't coached Nigerian league. But okay, for me, I think it's also a very good statement that Enyimba made. Because when I went back home, honestly, I will tell you, it was a disaster in terms of coaching. Sorry for me to use that word, or apology to any people that felt offended. But the coaching department in Nigeria is really bad. It's really bad. For them to get such a coach like Finidi that has been outside, coming back, I think he will bring something different that they haven't seen. I played back home, and when I went back now, I saw like coaching in Nigeria is more or less like people that learned. It's like a trade, an apprenticeship or something. You just play, finish, you become an assistant coach, tomorrow you're a head coach. This thing of going to equip yourself you know, as a coach, use even your own money to pay for your own licenses, go get educated about coaching, about how you know, even attach yourself with teams that are much bigger, you know, travel out, attach yourself with teams, learn from them, see what they're doing different. It's really bad. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we can
you.
hear you. We can hear you.
I've muted Obina. Greg, you heard what Obina said. Do you agree, or you haven't been home in a while?
I told Kevin, I said, Kevin, I'm a half caste now. I'm
half South African now.
No, I mean, Finidi George, you know, I think, you know, I mean, it's a good fit. You know, Enyimba is a big club. You know, I mean, you have a coach. I mean, become a coach now, because what I heard before last month, they want to employ him as a technical advisor, but later on they decide that he's going to be a coach. I think he has done his badges in Europe. You know, I think he has some badges. You know, he played for Red Betis, Ajax. You know, and yeah, he's one of the top stars. You know, if you talk about the 1994 squad, you know, he's one of the best winger in terms of attacking wise that give Nigeria a lot of joy. You know, you talk about Finidi George, you talk about Tijani Babangida, that right wing, you know, we always have Finidi that can bring crosses for you, for Rashidi to finish. I think is present in Enyimba. We revive that team in terms of the personality and in terms of his caliber, you know, because Nigeria, as Obina is saying, Nigeria, we always want the name, you know, you want the name, you know, to coach a team. And Enyimba, you know, the two-time champion of the CAF Champions League, I think they want to go back to that stage again. So yeah, it's a good appointment. It's a good appointment. With every appointment, you know, you have to judge with results. So it's left for him now, because he need to get the results before we can say, yeah, it's a good appointment, because the league is about to start now again. They're on pre-season now, so he has time to build his own team. He has time to work with his technical team. I think, yeah, you know, we have to judge him with results. You know, no matter what he has achieved as a player, now he's becoming a coach, so it's a different scenario, you know. And yeah, Obina will testify, you know, not what everything that happened in Europe in terms of traveling wise, in terms of organization, it's not the same back home, you know. So you need to cope with all those frustration and try to get the results and get the right players, because Enyimba is one of the big teams in Nigeria. So right now they are recruiting the best of the best players in the league, you know, to give him that ammunition to play the Champions League and to win the league again. So I think Finidi George is a good fit. Yeah, he has the pedigree to go with the team and make them proud again.
Moving right along. Thank you, Greg. AmaZulu have traveled to Malawi. They are playing in Lilongwe, second leg. How do you see? Do you think this is the end of the journey for AmaZulu?
It's between two things. It could be they could continue the journey, or it could end here. Why would it end here? If Benny doesn't fix his house, Benny doesn't correct himself in terms of the things that he's doing on the media, because it's affecting players now, and he's coming out to say he shouldn't have said this, he shouldn't have said that. As a coach, you should know better, you should do better, you should lead by example. Remember, those players that are there, they look up to Benny, they respect him, but if he doesn't filter the same respect back to them, they're not going to perform for him. So therefore, it will be imminent to see him to leave the club. So let us have a sense of that Benny has altered his ways, managed his anger, stay a true professional in terms of how you go into interviews. It's not something that he should be taught. He has played at the highest level. So them going to Malawi would need a total mindset, good motivation to the player, good guidance, also showing his proper personalities on becoming a professional. So it could go good for him if he manages and he wins his changing room like he has done to put the team in the second spot. It wasn't by fluke. We saw where he took the team, and then he put them in a proper position, and they qualified for a tournament that they're participating in right now. If he were to sabotage himself, it all will be in terms of how he manages his team.
Obina, not sure if you've been following Benny McCarthy and AmaZulu lately. Him and Caetano Tembo exchanged some unsavory words in their midweek game, you know, in the DSTV Premiership. You're a coach. How do you think he conducted himself?
Well, I think both of them. I think they went. They took it too far. Also with Kate, he first of all called. Let me not use that language.
Yes, that word.
The word he called Benny and the reaction from Benny. My biggest worry, in the world now, people always see the reaction, but they don't see the action. Nobody talks about the action now. Everybody is talking about the reaction. But again, like what Sosibo said, Benny has, I think, an anger problem. This is not the first time in the touchline he has had a heated argument. And sometimes when he says things in the media, he doesn't know what he said. Later, he comes back and apologizes. He has done this, I think, twice also in the media. When he was with Cape Town City, he did also the same thing. But look, for me, one thing I don't know how I'm a coach, I know is the moment is a moment thing that somehow you get out of, you lose yourself, you forget whatever. Like nobody could tell you at that moment, because again, this football is a game of tension. You tense, you're emotional, you whatever you can even talk about is what football possesses and coaches possesses at that moment. So, but yes, like what Sosibo said, he should try and manage it, because also the way he manages it allows the players that plays for him to respect him. Whatever he utters, the words he says, the players, or it also reflects to the players. Because now for me, I'm thinking what kind of a coach he is. How does he address his players when he's angry? All those things comes to my mind when I watched when they had that heated argument, what he was saying, So it's really difficult to say, but honestly, Benny should just try and conduct himself.
Eric, do you think such would affect players, like how we don't know how he is in private, but that's what we saw in public?
Yes.
No, but for me, I feel like, there's ways that coaches stand for their team, stand for their players. And one is, Benny has this charisma, his idol is Jose Mourinho. And I feel like he's trying to become the African Jose Mourinho in terms of trying to take the pressure away from his players. Because with that incident, it's a typical scenario that happened every day in soccer, which you have, you contest in terms of a decision that goes against you. It was a red card that Benny felt like it shouldn't be a red card, and the ref gave the red card, and which you cannot rescind again. You cannot. There's nothing you can do. You just need to concentrate on your team and see how you cope from there. But normally 2 benches. You have coaches that exchange words. It's normal in the game. The coaches will tell you, Obina and Kevin will tell us because normally this didn't happen every day, but it mustn't be up to that extent to become personal now in terms of personal issue, because I believe, Benny and Catano, they're good friends. They're good friends for a very long time. They played together, and so there's personal issue you don't bring out no matter what the scenario is, because in that scenario, yeah, what's been exchanged, but it doesn't warrant you to go into personal, So I just feel like there is a little bit of frustration from both sides. That can be settled. There can be calls in between themselves and just say, no, it could have happened like this. But AmaZulu as a whole, they're in a situation that they need to come out very, very quickly, in terms of their CAF Champions League now. So that's what they must be worried about, and Benny and the whole technical team, in terms of the two striker, Nombete, they should be worried about getting them scoring goals now, because for a very long time now they haven't seen the back of the net. And going to Malawi is gonna be a difficult one, because they're playing the capital, but the advantage of AmaZulu now is going to be a closed door game, so there's no fans allowed in that game. So it's going to be an advantage for them. They just need to play well and then give their best out. But I think, with the big bullets, the striker Hassan that is coming back in this game, which is the top goal scorer in the league, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult again for AmaZulu. But yeah, it's the way they start the game that's going to be important. AmaZulu need to score first and try to take it from there. But if big bullets score in the first 20 minutes or in the first 15 minutes, it's going to be a big pressure for AmaZulu to come out in that scenario.
And so should AmaZulu focus on the CAF Champions League or focus at home? Because I don't think their squad has enough depth to try and run for both.
Yeah, I would say focus at home, but they've got an opportunity, so they can hit two birds with one stone. But at this time, it looks like this bird is far away from them, so they should let go of it and focus on the close one, which is the league. So my feel is, as it looks right now, and the personality and the motivation on the other side with the Bullets, they're going to try and prove a point. And remember, those players that are there, they will try to also put themselves in the window to be selected to come into the country, because this is a rosy country. Most African players want to come and play the side, which the conditions are better, fields are better, infrastructure, everything. So it puts AmaZulu at the backhand, because when they go there, they don't know what they're going to be faced with. This is their first time being in this tournament, and which is a difficult one. So these they should take it as a lesson and a mental one of the mental games. They might come out from this a little bit blunt in a way, but I feel that players should try and get lessons from that. Sundowns also didn't have a good start, but look where they are today. So we should learn from our teams in South Africa that it's doable. Pirates have been there, Sundowns has been there, Chiefs just now finished in the final, so it's possible. But all you have to do is you always have to start in order to understand how far you can go. But at this point, not all is lost. As I said, if he control his changing room and keep them motivated, I don't think they're running short in terms of the financial motivation. But what is needed right now is for Benny to come up and speak like a proper coach and be a person that is going to educate those players, a coach that is going to support those players so they can deliver result for him. If that is not done, I doubt that they're going to come back with a positive result.
Bina, I mean, they are lucky that they're just traveling to Malawi. It's a 2-hour flight. I'm thinking, imagine you're going to Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso. Travel arrangements are different. You have PSL fixtures. Sometimes you'll have NetBank fixtures. It will take its toll on the squad of AmaZulu. Like if you were the coach, what would be the focus right now? Because you might finish out of the top 8, and I don't think they'll win the Champions League.
Look, I don't. For me, I don't believe also that they're also going there to add numbers. You know, with the way they did at the PSL, finishing second position, I don't believe they're going there to add numbers. But also, I don't know much about the depth of the squad they have, but playing in the Champions League and also playing in the league, playing also in the cup competitions, it's going to be a big one for a team like AmaZulu. You know, that's why when you look at Pirates, Sundowns, Chiefs, you look at the quality and the players they have, the number of players they have. Sundowns, for example, have almost like 30 national team players, you know, in their squad. So, and this has helped them over the years in every CAF competition to go through to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals, you know. So when you look at the depth of the squad, also playing and also winning the league, the local league, winning the cup, and also going to these competitions, doing very well. For AmaZulu, I believe it's their debut season, if I'm not mistaken, in the CAF Champions League. You know, and few of the players have played in the Champions League, you know, with other teams like Kaizer Chiefs and Sundowns. But again, the squad entirely is a new tournament for them. You know, the hostility of the fans. Okay, like Greg said, they will play in a closed door. But regardless that, closed door inside the stadium, but outside the stadium, the intimidation you receive before getting inside the stadium is a different thing. Because also, I was in back in Nigeria with Canopilas. We went to Senegal. I knew what we went through. Even when I was playing, when we played in the final of that was the last of CAF Confederation. It was called CAF Cup. Then with Eto'o the Sahel in the final, it was a disaster with the fans. You know, what you see there with the fans is intimidating. So the first time for them when they see this, I just believe they should find a way to manage it. But other than that, football-wise, when I watched AmaZulu, even against Super Sports, I think they can come out in Malawi victorious, but also going further in the competition when they start going further into the North Africa, the West Africa, that is where the football is. So, and I believe they will have to take it one game at a time. So, and maybe they grow in confidence. So, but with the kind of quality they have, I don't think AmaZulu will be a push away in the competition. But again, I hope they have a depth to cover all both the cup competition, the Champions League and the league.
If you haven't subscribed, don't forget, subscribe, so that we can keep giving you this content. Greg, I'm going to come to you now. Kaizer Chiefs fans already want Stuart Baxter fired. Are they justified?
For me, you know, going back what Kaizer Chiefs have achieved in terms of the past 5 or 2 seasons, and the fans just want something to change in terms of trophy-wise, in terms of how the team play, and the club thought that, okay, when Stuart Baxter is coming in, things will be immediately changed in terms of their performance on the pitch and winning all those big games. Because I know, Kaizer Chiefs supporters, they pride themselves in terms of winning these big games, in terms of the Sundowns, in terms of the Pirates, in terms of, the teams around them that they compete directly with, So for now, it's too early. Yeah, I think it's not justified for him to be fired now, because if you see Kaizer Chiefs they got the points in terms of 4 points. They just lost against Sundowns, which, in every department on that day, I think Sundowns were just too classy for Kaizer Chiefs. I think he need time. He need time because, going to what is going with his interview and what he's saying about players, I think, you can see he's not the one that signed some of the players. So he's a coach. What you find there, you need to work with them. So he need to work. You need to make those teams work. You need to make those players gel together. Result need to start coming, which is very important. So I just think for now, Street Bastard need time to build his own philosophy, to build his own team, and they should give him time because the league is just the third game now. So I think he need time. It's not justified for him to be fired now.
Next, today in his pre-match press conference, he said just because ngcobo is in the national team, it's not an automatic passport that he'll be in the starting lineup for Kaizer Chiefs. I want to throw this one to you, Soso.
It is.
When is this guy going to play?
Yes, it is. It is. Listen, when you are selected for a national team, we're talking national team. We are not talking a team which consists of we're going to compete against 30 teams. National teams should mean something. If as a team you're having like 8 or 9 players in a national team, that shows the quality that you have within your team. So for him to come and throw this dice to us and say no, just because in a national team, that doesn't automatically mean I must start you. Why not? Kaizer Chiefs has been struggling with centre backs. What's the reason for them to buy? Now, this justifies it again. The guy played 30 matches. Remember, he was competing with 32 teams that were in the PSL. And then he was selected to be the defender of the season, which is a position that you were struggling with. Then you come and bench him. What excuse are you giving us? That is not comfortable on the ball or making other excuses for him. I've seen a player that understands the game, a player that is confident, a player that you can put in front of the defense if should there need be. Play him as a screener of the 2 players that he has. I think one of the things that Stuart is doing is trying to have the still continuation that Kaizer Chiefs has been complaining about. He still has the same Cardoso. They're still not producing results. He still has the same Matoho at the back. Still the same thing. Then why buy the guy who was a defender of the season and then you keep him on the bench? And then you're saying you're giving him time. Give him which time? When is he going to gel? Because when you start tweaking on that position, you're going to make mistakes. Let the guy start right now, where there's time, where he can rectify. But I assure you, if that guy is given a chance, he's going to cement his position. So the excuse that the coach is giving us, remember when he came, the only thing that is frustrating the fans right now is because when he came to Kaizer Chiefs, his starts back then and compared to now is terrible. Hence, they're calling for his head. So that's why it will feel like it's justifiable for fans to call for his head. Why? Because they're bearing in mind that when he arrived at Kaizer Chiefs, this is what he has brought to them. At this point, it looks like the train is still stagnant. He's staying on one position. He hasn't wanted to change anything at this.
But Kevin, it's just the 3rd game of the season. And it still need time, in terms of him, getting the team together, gel. In terms of Jabulo, that's on that scenario. But I think for now, for the fans to call on for him to be sacked, I think it's too early. It's too early. Because it's just the 3rd game, and don't forget that there's still games to play. At least when we go to the 5th or 6th game, now he's not getting the result which the fans really expect. And the fans of Kaizer Chiefs, they want this big game. If you win against Sundowns, against Pirates, and lose other games, then we be okay with that. But you
But
don't
again,
win those
Greg,
games. You don't win those games. And
I
win
hear
the league.
you. I hear you, Greg.
Sosibo, can I add
Greg,
on? Can I add on what Greg is saying, Sosibo? 1 minute.
This is not
We
Santos.
all
I
are
want to tell him
coaches.
that.
No, we all are coaches, you understand? And again, you must understand that every coach has his philosophy, his style of play, and whatever. Every coach makes decision on players based on what he sees on training, not based on what you play. You're not based on who you are, on what you are. And I stand by Baxter because I'm not in Kaizer Chiefs training ground. I'm not in any whatever they do. And one thing, ngcobo is a good player, knowing him, but does he suit into the style of play of the new coach? Is what I cannot tell you. The coach knows what he wants. I don't believe Baxter is there to lose. I don't believe Baxter selects players in order to lose. Remember, as a coach, you make your decision based on your style and your philosophy. Going into the game, it might be different. But then with time, it gives you time to adjust with things, with players you have, with everything in your possession. But again, if we could sit all the time and agree with the fans, fire, higher. This is the same thing that kept Kaizer Chiefs where they are at the moment. When Baxter was doing very well, they called for his head. Ever since Baxter left Kaizer Chiefs, so many coaches came in. I think about 2-3 coaches has come in, and they've lost. But again, this man is trying to build what has been destroyed for the past 4-5 seasons. It won't be easy under 1, 2, 3 months. So whatever they should do, they have to give that man time to build whatever they've scattered in the last 5 years. That's my take on it. But
my
on
point
ngcobo,
is,
give him time.
Well, my point is, this is not a small team, guys. It's not a small team. There's no time there. Can't go to Sundowns with the quality that they have and say you need time. No, you need to know your story.
Doesn't have the quality.
If you go to Chifa, I mean, the team itself. You might say they don't have quality, but they try to sign the players that were available. So you take on the job knowing very well what you are doing. So when you take on that job, you need to know, like, you have given others a chance. Why not this one?
Yeah.
Why not this one? Now you have given one, and the one is under fire. Now is under fire, the one that was recently signed. Now it takes you back to what? It takes you back to the same players that they've been there, who the fans feel that they haven't done nothing for Chiefs and they need to go. Now, when are you going to test those methods? You have time in training sessions. And as a coach, Obina, when we play Chiefs, there's a different type of play that they will present on that day because they are playing Maritzburg or they are playing Celtic. Okay? So now this is my point. In these games that you have played, for you as a coach that is incoming, when you look at the team sheet or when you look at what Kaizer Chiefs has signed, because when you go into that boardroom, they would tell you that this is your team coach of 35 players or 25 players that you have. And then you go through them as a coach. You need to know all those players, even if you didn't scout them. As a coach, we know that firstly, you're going to start looking at personality, technical organization. You're also going to see the players that can play the ball, players that are comfortable on the ball, players that have the technical information. Okay? Players that have the technical information to find solutions, which is one of them is ngcobo. He does have the technical information because he knows what to do with the ball. He knows what to do with the ball. Comfortable on the ball. He can play longer or short. He can play in the middle. He's a player that can help Chiefs in many departments, whether Chiefs want to play with 2 holding midfielders or they want to play a low block. Or it suits him well in the transition that he plays because ngcobo plays those accurate passes into the pocket and also good on build-up play and link-up play. So now the excuse that he keeps on diving, I know it's early, guys, but this is a time where you say, I'm giving everybody an opportunity to see what we can do. Yes, he may not throw all the players that are signed, but the critical point here is the players that were signed are the critical position that needed to be cemented. If you're still not fixing the back line, what else? You have done it in the middle.
It's true.
Now you're looking up front. You're looking at up front. You have changed ngcobo, you made him more of a winger. What type of play do you want? Because it has proven that within the country, if we play with the natural strikers, this is where we get goals. The same thing that happens with Pirates. When they started having Mapeza, they started scoring. Now, when they're having a floating striker, it didn't work for them. So why use the big man on the side? Who's going to hit? Who's going to bully those defenders? I think it's one of the things that now I feel that is getting wrong.
Just to add in, I think, Kevin, you're right, in terms of, Njabulu, for me, for you to be a defender of the season, you're playing 30 games and playing against your peers and everyone, votes for you to be defender of the season. I think he deserved to start, he deserved to play, but at the same time, when you push for a player like this to start and things don't go well, the coach will turn around and say that, no, you guys wanted me to play him. So I just feel sorry for the player at this moment, because he doesn't deserve all those talk about he need to play or need to give a chance. I think for him to be signed from Swallows, Swallows is above Kaizer Chiefs for last season in terms of where they finished on the log, in terms of their position on the log. So I think he did very well, and they considered less than Kaizer Chiefs last season. So for Njabulu coming from that team, I think, and that's what the position, as Kevin said, the position that they were struggling. I think the combination could have started during the preseason, but Kaizer Chiefs too, they didn't have that preseason, because remember they were playing the Champions League, and this two center backs that they still playing now, they're the one that took them to that stage in terms of the Champions League finals. So there's a give and take in this scenario, but I just think Street Bastard need to think about it very well. He mustn't throw Njabulu under pressure and say, no, because they want me to play you need to play. No, he must take his time. When he's ready to play him, he must play him. But all we are saying that this boy is a quality player, and he deserves a chance like any other player in terms of, you give Keegan Dolly, you give everyone, even the back line,
But Greg, the coach never said he was not going to play him. Yeah. I don't think he said so.
No,
so
he never said,
No,
Obi, he never said. But he never said that. But he's saying that he's not comfortable the style of play in terms of playing the ball on the floor. And we know
he is a coach,
guys.
He is a coach.
He is the coach. Said he's still learning how Kaizer Chiefs plays.
Coach said he's learning how the Kaizer Chiefs style. He cannot really throw him now in terms of what he wants him to get used to. The back line.
Exactly. No. Let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something. And I'll bring a typical example happening here. Let me not call name here that I am, whatever, in the team. This man came in, he saw there is a player he left when he was here. He left this player, a young boy, very young. He signed the boy at the age of 18. The boy is 21 now. When he came back, the boy was not there. So now he looked for the boy. He got the boy back.
Obina, let's know which team is that.
Can I finish?
No,
can I finish?
We don't want to break it
down. I don't want Greg. So this guy, let me just finish. He placed this guy on a special training in the next 3 months. So what I'm saying, coaching, I've gone through to see that coaching is different. We as African, we coach different. The white, they coach different. And I'll tell you true. They have a process. There is something that is called process for them. This man Baxter, not that ngcobo is not good. If he doesn't want ngcobo in the team, he will tell them he doesn't want him, that he doesn't want him. But again, when he said it doesn't suit the style he wants, it means he doesn't suit. He's losing now.
Obina, they just signed the boy. They just signed the boy.
How can he not suit the style? They
Also, sorry, Obina,
excuse.
The coach said he didn't watch him play.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, he says, of course, he wasn't in South Africa, you know, last season. So he didn't watch him play. So he's only spent 3 months with the ball. But he's not the only one. Shanti wasn't there. Sehota wasn't there. They were all at Swallows. Nange
wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, but again, guys, that is what this man has so many players that he's looking at to build a team. At the end of the day, Sosibo, all of us played football that some will sit on the bench, some will play. So at the time, if he has his style, he's going with his style. Let me tell you something. At the end, like the way the fans are judging him now, they're judging him because he's failing at the moment, right? With his style. But he's not going to be forced to change whatever, if he doesn't want to use ngcobo at the moment. Maybe Kaizer Chiefs should fire him and get a coach that will use ngcobo. But the fact is that if they have Baxter there, let them give him time. Let them give him time.
Obina, this is my point. All those players that are playing those particular positions that we have mentioned, Mabaliso left back, Chiefs has been struggling with the left back. Midfielder, we've got the Nange, we've got the Alexander Cole replacing Katande. All those positions that we're talking about are positions that needed to be filled because they were struggling.
Yeah.
So therefore, some of those players have gotten the chance. So he needs to be given a chance because this is the position where the team was struggling. I hear you what you're saying, but my point is, let's understand that if he went into that position and they were not struggling, they just bought him as an addition. Okay, we understand that. But that's the critical position that needed him. And then again, we put him on the bench. That's where the argument comes from.
Guys, maybe we can move forward from here. But the fact is that he's a new player in a new team, new environment. Maybe we judging him, or because the truth is that I don't know him.
New, Obina.
Remember. No, listen. I'm just saying. They're all new. No, Simpiwe is different because players, different players adjust differently in a environment, in a new environment. Maybe the other people came and adjusted quickly. Maybe he's not adjusting. It's okay. But I'm not saying because I'm not there. I'm just trying to find the reason why a good coach like Basta could keep a good player like ngcobo on the bench or waiting for him or saying they should give him time for him to come in. Because both Baxter is a good coach. This young boy we're talking about is a good player because for him to come among the best player of the season last season, which I was not here in the country, it means that he possesses something, something that is rare. And at the moment in South Africa, defenders are rare now. You understand? Defenders are rare now at the moment. So I'm just saying people should have patience and let the process take its due course.
No, I think Obina, the coach is just playing the people that he trusts, that he knows they were there. It's got nothing to do with the whole thing that he was explaining in the presser. He's just going with people that he knows because Mato has been there long. Carlos has been there long. It's only Jabulo just came this year. That's the reason why he might say he doesn't trust him. Because pound for pound, if you can compare those two, any coach in the PSL right now will take ngcobo for the centre back. You will play. That's the guy that has played majority of the games at Swallows.
But again, if you say every coach, but look at now, this coach is not playing him.
Which is why we are asking why.
Yeah, because he said he didn't see him. That's why we're asking why. Because every coach,
you've seen him for 3 months. He has seen him for 3 months.
Yes, where were you to make a rash decision?
Which means he doesn't fit Obina into how he wants them to play.
Exactly. That is what I'm trying to tell you guys. He's a good player. It's fine. Everybody understands. But this coach has a style. He wants this guy to follow the style. He needs to put him in the process to follow and understand tactically.
I'm going to stay with you, Obina. I'm going to stay with you, Obina. How about this boy's confidence? From playing regularly, week in, week out.
No. With that,
he knew at Swallows. At Swallows, he knew.
Simpiwe, you mentioned a good thing, which was the confidence. But let me tell you something. Confidence of a player does not go down on any way if he's not, because he's not playing. No. It's because guys, can I finish, guys? Look, wait. I've been a coach. Listen, Sosibo.
I
will definitely land before I hear anything. Don't crucify me first. Wait, let me land.
Yeah, let's hear.
At least I've been a coach since 2010. You understand? And I understand.
And you've been a player. And you've been a player.
I've been a player. Yes. Being a player is different from being a coach. It's the two different people. Because sometimes as a coach, we're saying now, if we knew what we know now, we would have been a better player. Let me tell you something of how I believe with this thing, that it doesn't kill the confidence. When we were playing, the coach keeps us on the bench. He keeps you without even telling you the reason why you are on the bench. He doesn't even give you the confidence to say, okay, guy, look, wait for your time. There is a process. I place you on this training. I'm doing this with you, and this is what I've learned over the years as a coach. In Africa, it's not done. You are on the bench, And even the worst is in Nigeria, you don't even have any right to go to coach in Nigeria and ask him why you're not playing. You cannot do that. The moment you've done that, you are done in the team. But here, what kills a player's morale is when you keep him on the bench and you tell him nothing. You don't even explain to him why he's not playing or what he has to do for him to play. That is when you kill the player. But if you always engage this player and tell him, okay, look, guy, you have to play, but this is what I'm expecting from you. This is the process. This is what I want you to do. And with due time, you will have your time to play. I'm telling you, the player will not lose any confidence. I've tried it. I've done it. It has worked for me.
So
that is it.
No, Obina, at Marisbeck, when we with Professor Ngubane, you at some point went to him and asked him, why was he not
it was Trot Moloto. It was Trot Moloto, not...
Yes, where you almost fought. Fought in the training field.
Yes.
Yes.
Listen to what you said now.
You are the one who said...
So, Sibo, yes. Listen to what you said. Wait. You said, I went to him. He never came to me and told me why I was not playing.
Bobina.
Confidence. Let's keep it on confidence.
Yes, that's where I'm going. Because
okay, come with it,
to finish. Because Obina, at that point, even when Trot explained, and then he said, but coach, I'm scoring here in training. What else should I do? What happens to my confidence? And then and then he was saying, no, your time will come. And then you said, no, coach, there's no my time will come here when I'm doing far better.
How come you remember every
conversation? You were right. Yeah, but I wasn't sleeping. Remember, Obina, you and I had the same problem with Trot. We had the same problem with the same coach. And I kept on asking him, coach, even when we play 11 against 11, they would put us in a bench, me and you. And then you come to me and say, this coach, what's wrong with him? Then you would say to me, no, it's because he doesn't want to explain to me because he knows I'm better than these players. They put you last 10 minutes, 1 cross, 1 goal. And then
one goal, yes, and it happened. The following game, the same thing. But what I'm saying,
guys, your playing days have gone. Me, I didn't have those problems. Man. You guys have.
But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that Trot never called me and explain to me why I was not playing. And that was why I revolted. If he was calling me, telling me what to do and everything, I would have been patient and wait for my time. That's
confidence.
all I'm saying.
Greg, let's hear from Greg. Wrap it up, Greg.
I mean, these guys, they always stay in the bench. I don't have that problem, man. These guys. They don't have, but on a serious note, I just think that, you know, with the scenario of Kaizer Chiefs, I just feel like if they are winning, this situation will not arise.
Will never happen.
But you see now why this scenario is this story is always, you know, going to occur every time, because week in, week out they conceding goals, you know. So yeah, Obina, you have a defender of the season, which, I mean, he's the best player, a best defender of last season, and you sign in your team. So no matter what, you know, that tag or that respect, we give you that opportunity to give him a chance. First of all, you play a Cali level a tournament, you play the MTN 8, and we're the third game of the season, and you haven't been given a chance. So that's why everyone, the supporters, everyone is asking, when are you going to give him a chance? You can't keep on losing and saying that, no, he's not suited to your system. He needs to be given a chance. But when, we don't know. The coach is the only one that can answer that question. But if they keep on losing, as far as they keep on losing or keep on conceding, you know, through the center backs, through defensive mistakes, people will still ask that question. When are you going to give him a chance? Yeah. He might come in and fix the problem. He might come in, the problem continue. So, but at least you need to justify that, no, I've given everyone a chance. Let me do it in my way now, or let me do it on my way now. Let me just do what I need to do and make the team win. So, but if we haven't given everyone, or most especially Njabulu, a chance, we're still going to ask that question if the team is conceding and if the team is losing.
I'm just scared for the boys' confidence. You know, by the time he gets game time, his confidence is so low that he has such a bad game that now will be a struggle.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, because competitive matches and training matches are not the same.
But maybe Timpi, when you listen to that press conference or whatever, from that, can I ask, because I didn't listen to it?
Yes.
From what he said, did you kind of get to understand that he does not like him, or he put him on a process of understanding the style before he could play?
To be honest,
may I answer that?
Yeah, you can come in, so I'll come in afterwards.
Obina, the way I looked at it, Kaizer Chiefs is the easiest team to play into once you are selected and called up to. It's one team that supports you 200%. I've been there from a development rank up until the first team. The only thing that for me that was missing, not to break it that much to the first team, was because there were a galaxy of stars ahead of me and I was still young. And I understood clearly that there's your David Kanamea there, there's your Malcolm Tembu, there's your Skarangobese. You know, the names are endless. You tell those are seasoned campaigners. That was one of the league where they were called Fat Alice. So me saying this in what I got from the sense of what the coach was saying was, for the explanation he gave me, I didn't take it kindly, because Chiefs is one of those teams that will support you 100% and try and give you a chance.
What did he say? What did he say?
Not confident on starting at the back, which is something that is untrue. The boy can play from the back. He can start the ball. He's comfortable on the ground.
So a coach is telling you that the player is not confident to play from the back. A player that he sees every day, you think he can come out on a live TV and tell you he's not confident?
Obina, we see this player. We see this player for a full season. We saw this player for a full season.
Yes,
so
full season.
The player is very good playing from the back. And the
Can't
team he
tell
was
us
playing
that.
for, the team he was playing for, they considered less goals than the team he is now. He went there to sort problem, and you still having the same problem. Obina, what are you talking about? He played week in, week out, including the cup game. He finished higher.
Let me wrap it up. Let me wrap it up.
I give up. I give up.
Let me wrap it up. Obina, for me, it was a bunch of excuses. Like, if you are conceding goals and you have a defender of the season, come on. Okay, let's move on. PSL fixtures. Chipa will be playing Pirates. I'm going to start with you, Greg. Pirates will not have Lodge up until next year, I believe. Will they miss him?
Yeah, definitely they will miss him. Lodge is one player that give you a different dimension when he's on the pitch, when he's fit and his mind is set to play. When he's happy, he give you good good possibility in terms of scoring wise. He allowed the other players to be free, and he draw attention to himself. I remember the game he played against Highlands Park. The goal he scored is unbelievable. He has done so well. Former player of the season. I think injury is just delaying his progress. And off the field problems, and I just think there's a lot of things going around the young man head. But I think Pirates, we miss him a lot. But Pirates have been doing very well without him. Pirates is a quality side. And anyone that is playing for Pirates, we always deliver his best. For the team to win. Getting their first win against Swallows. In terms of they scored one goal, keep a clean sheet. I think going against Chipa, a team that lost on the road against Royal AM, I think it's going to be a good game. But you're going to have a game that you have defense versus attack. It's going to be that kind of game, and waiting for a break. So yeah, we're just we're praying to see a good game, but it's going to be a defense and attack a game, and it's going to be a tough one, for both sides.
Also, in hindsight, do you think Pirates should have sold Lodge?
Yes, I feel that they should have sold him to make up for their natural number 9, for him to actually explore and make more money for himself. Time is not on his side. Now you can see he's picking more injuries. Last season, he also had the same problem. Now we're going to miss him again. The whole season, we're not going to see him. So by then, I think also we don't want to dig deep into how they do their things in terms of the conditioning and the injury prevention. When it comes to those aspects, I think they should do a far better job, because if they managed him well, they would have known not to field him in last year and last season, because I think this injury that he might have right now is an occurring injury from the one that he had last time. So they should have tested out.
There was a statement saying there was a freak injury of some sort.
It was
a freak injury from the Orlando Pirates website. I'm not sure what freak injury could mean. A lot of things at home, something happened at home. Yeah, but yeah. So basically, you do believe he should have been sold when they had the chance.
Yeah, they should have cashed in on him and then maybe get a number 9, because this is the position that they're struggling with, because they're struggling with strikers. So having him and having, I know they just bought one, Kwama Prepra, who's also still going to try and find his feet within the country. And also, there's also no time for him to really be on the vacation, because Pirates needs goals. Mawasa is slowly coming into the picture. We're still missing Lepasa. So that's one of the position that was critical, so that they could have sorted it out by maybe releasing him to greener pastures. I think also selling a player is also good. You don't have to hang on to a player for far too long up until we start booing him. When he's still on his prime, let's cash up on the player and also let him make money, let the club make their money too. It shouldn't be a one-sided thing where a club is going to make money when now you are out of your top game. Then they dump you just like that. They're not going to even help you. Now you're struggling to find a club. So I think it should balance each other, and in the same breath, yes, it was a good move for them to sell him, not to keep him, because it's safer to at least play 1-2 seasons and move along. You can't stay for 7 years on one team. Come on, try and challenge yourself as a professional.
So what are you talking about? Why are you saying about me now?
Legend. 15 years in Swallows. How long, Greg? How long?
And then Spiwe.
Yeah.
Spiwe. And then Greg is there 15 years. He only gets 100 rand a raise every year. You see, that's not fair. Instead of him getting new signing on fees. Come on, Greg.
Obida. Pirates cheaper. How do you see this one going?
Wow. Tough game. Always difficult to come across, play against Gavin Hart team, and I think with what he's doing with Chipa now is amazing. He's also bringing Chipa up to be one of the team, one of those teams that he has been coaching, except that he couldn't get things going in Kaizer Chiefs, but I played against him when he was in Super Sports. I played against him when he was in Bidvest. He's also in Swallows. He's a very, very difficult coach. He always build a very difficult team, and I believe Pirate will find it difficult also to face Chipa. But Pirate has the quality, to always open up teams, find the loopholes behind the defenders. But honestly, this season, I really haven't seen them hitting that point, very well. Yes, one of the they've had this few let down from goalkeepers, defenders, and there. But I believe Pirates has the edge over Chipa, but they should just understand that the coach they're facing is a very difficult coach that will build a very formidable team. It will be a difficult game for Pirate, but I believe Pirate will go through.
Completely agree with you, Obina. Given tough match to crack. Other fixtures include the Cape Town Derby, Cape Town City versus Stellenbosch. Also, Baroka will play Sekhukhune. Then we'll have Swallows versus Supersport. And then Sundowns versus Galaxy. Greg, Sundowns versus Galaxy. ODG knows Shalulile very well. Do you think he can plan for him, or the quality here is just too much?
Sundowns team, you cannot plan for one player alone, because Sundowns, there's too much quality in different departments, So for you to plan for Peter, it might not play on the day, and that's going to be a waste. So you need to plan for the team generally, because the philosophy of the team, that's the most important one for you to plan against than to plan against individual players. Yeah, and there, Peter can carry Sundowns in terms of his moment of brilliance, in terms of coming from nowhere and score a goal. But I think ODG need to be planning. You need to be planning. Yeah, against Sundowns, the whole team, because Sundowns team, on the day that things gel for them, I think they will be unstoppable. So it's gonna be a tough one for Galaxy. Galaxy managed to get a draw against Golden Arrows in the last minute. So against Sundowns is looking to extend their lead on the league table. So I'm playing at home. Sundowns always have that ability, to create a lot of opportunities. And planning for Peter alone, I think he's not going to solve the situation. You need to plan against the whole team of Sundowns, which on their day they can dismantle any team.
So for TS Galaxy, what's the best they can hope for against Sundowns? Surely it's a draw.
Yeah, I think a draw would be a fair result, but knowing ODG would want to go 1v1, which is going to make it, who's actually going to challenge himself, because if you're having players that will stay with 1v1, it creates room and space for you to play. because this is how you move a pack defender or a pack play. So in that, if he's going to apply the same principles of trying to sit deep, defend deep, the Sundowns you know very well in terms of how to have the openings, how to use the width, and how to bypass and overload by those statement run, attacking from the wing, having late attackers coming through the box. So I think if he's going to maybe play a more of an open game and try to also give Sundowns questions in terms, give Sundowns question, it will help him in terms of sustaining the game. But if he's going to start from the first whistle and try and sit deep and play defensive game and want a draw, not too early to really put up a sign that you want to take a point home here, because Sundowns will want to grab the whole 3 points. And how are they going to do that? With the personality that they will bring in the field, as Greg has mentioned. You may know Shaulile, but it doesn't mean that it's the same Shaulile that was coached by you. Yes, he might have the abilities in terms of how he used to help in terms of defensive, because he's a player that never stops running. He's a player that always look for those balls, always try to pick up from the loose ball. You might be aware of that, but there are some maybe additional information that as a coach and those 3 coaches at Sundowns have worked with him to advance his playing level and the way he's going to help them into the system that they want. So the integration that has come about with Shaulile, that we have seen him now, he's still the same speedy Shaulile, the hardworking Shaulile, but now he plays off players now because the attention is more on him. That's why other players get an opportunity to score.
Obina, you're a coach. Surely that will be the approach from TS Galaxy. Sit back and hope to catch Sundowns on the counter. Let's unmute you. There we go.
I think this sitting back thing doesn't work for me as a coach, you know. I rather play conservative, which I will advise.
What choice do you have?
Conservative. There is what we call conservative football, you know. Not sitting back like Sosibo said. If you sit back for a team like Sundowns, they will definitely find a way to break you. You know, they know how to knock the ball, how to pull the ball left and right, you know, to find those ball behind the defenders, you know, in between passes, in the space, you know, at the bylines. They could do that all day, you know. But if you play conservative, I think it helps a lot. And TS Galaxy has been a team I coached, but when they were in the junior level, and I know team has been also involved, like what I heard, in also technical decision, you know, also with Owen. You know, I believe knowing Owen too, Sosibo said it right. He will go more of a man-to-man marking, you know, and if he could do it very well, if I mean very well, it will be a difficult game for Sundowns to play. One thing good players, you know, don't like is to always see somebody close to them. So when you have a team that knows how to play 1v1, you know, very close, when not with the ball, you close the line, but not stay on the man. But anytime the ball going close to the man, you go straight to him. If they could do that very well, Sundowns, it will be difficult for Sundowns to play their normal football, you know. But again, the quality of Sundowns gives them the edge. The quality of the coaches they have, the quality of the players they have, the infrastructure, the money-wise, everything gives them edge over TS Galaxy. So, like you said, the only thing they will hope for is a draw. But again, will they come out with a draw? Look, a win is always close by to draw. You know, when you're hoping for a draw, you can also get a win in that moment, you know. So, look, for me, it's a walkover game for Sundowns. But again, football is played in the field, not the way I'm saying it with my mouth now. So I just hope that Owen will come out with a very good plan in order to stop the quality that Sundowns will present that day.
As we wrap up, I'm going to come to you, Greg. Do you think the PSL has become some sort of a farmers league where we know at the end of the season, it's highly likely that Sundowns is going to win the league? I mean, look at Germany, you know. We all know Bayern is going to win the league, unless some fluke year where you'll get Dortmund, you know, they'll come in and they'll snatch it. Let's look at League One. Chances are PSG will win the league. But last season, Lille came in and snatched it. Just like the Premier League, you know, where you just don't know who will win the league. Do you think we are fast and slowly becoming a farmers league where we know doesn't matter what happens with the quality that Sundowns possesses, it's highly, highly, highly likely that they'll win the league?
Yeah, for me, I just think in that aspect, it's just the quality when you sign a quality end of the season. So automatically people judge you or, you know, put that team that because of the quality they have, they have an edge over other teams. Because before the season starts, everyone has the same opportunity to win the league. But if you see the quality that this team signed and the quality that this team have, you say, okay, because the quality this team have, they're always gonna be edge. Because Sundowns have been dominant in terms of the league for the last five, if I'm not mistaken, 5 years. You know, and a lot of teams they don't take the money out and go and buy a player, even the player have a contract. Or the player have 2 years left for his contract, they buy him.
Teams can't compete, Greg. Teams can't compete financially. I'm saying teams
teams can. Teams
no,
can.
Obina, not with Sundowns.
No, Sundowns is on that level. Sundowns is on that level in terms of
Kaizer Chiefs with the sponsors, Pirate with the sponsors, 500 billion.
No,
guys, these guys can't compete.
No, we can't compete with Sundowns.
Money-wise, Sundowns is away, guys.
Yeah. You see, sometimes you need to dig deep, for you to get a player in terms of a player that you need. You need to dig deep to go and put your money, your hands in some aspect in terms of personal money for you to bring out and support the team. But with saying that, I think we can't look it that way. You can look it that way in terms of the players they have, but at the end of the day, it's on the pitch. You need to judge. You remember Sundowns went to Chipper and got a draw. Chipper with, I can say with players that they don't have contract, with a low budget, but they got a draw against Sundowns, which didn't occur well. It didn't occur well with the coaches and saying that no, they could have won that game. So once in a while you have that scenario, and if you don't minimize that scenario in terms of if you make it a little bit of a gap in terms of you here and there you get someone that beats Sundowns or beat a team that have a lot of quality. So it cannot be in that team. It can be in that scenario saying that I'm sure this team is gonna win the league anytime. So for me, I just think he hasn't gotten there yet, But we're in that environment with Sundowns dominant. So, but yeah, it's only Sundowns at this moment. It's only Sundowns that can beat. They can beat themselves,
Yeah,
because
Sundowns can beat Sundowns. So I agree.
Yeah, I think with Sundowns, you're looking at the squad capacity, and also you're looking at the financial side, and also you look at the development structure to fit into the first team. They have set up a great model for themselves to always have the feeder so that they don't run out of their plan. Until teams start fixing their structures, I think things will be a bit better, but not financially, but in terms of how they do their scouting, that will also help. Because if you look at it history-wise, any player that you bring now into the country will always want to play for Kaizer Chiefs. But currently, when you start thinking about the financial side, you always think Sundowns right now. You're not going to go with history, but you're going to go where the monetary value is. So with that, Sundowns has got everything under wraps. And I think that's not an argument that can be placed on the table to be discussed, because they've shown it, how they competed, how they compete on the CAF, how they compete domestically. Even if other teams will be struggling, have to get accommodations.
Not sure what happened there with Soso. Obina, unmute yourself there.
Let me add there.
Yeah,
guys, I always have a different view on this matter, because I've looked at it severally. Sundowns have shown they have the capacity, and like you said, a farmers league. I don't believe it's a farmers league, because the quality they have, they've also dominated also in CAF. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not only, they haven't only dominated in South Africa, they've dominated also in CAF competitions. So now,
what does dominating mean in CAF competitions, Obina? They haven't won it since 2016. That's not dominating.
No, but
Ali dominates
what
CAF
I mean
Champions.
Dominating, they've always been in that group stage, quarterfinal, semi-final. They've always been there. You understand? Okay. Yes, they haven't won it since 2016, but they've always been there. They've always represented South Africa very well. Again, what I'm saying about the money-wise is that let's look at the moment now. Kaizer Chiefs are paying so much salaries to players now, because they want to go. The biggest problem Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates has is that they don't have the kind of scouting power, the kind of scouting Sundowns have. Sundowns, first of all, before the end of the season, they've already scouted the players they want from South Africa, knowing they also bring in from abroad. They go into teams, into Maritzburg, they take the best. They go to AmaZulu, they take the best. The best they take within the league first. Why Kaizer Chiefs is going to Zimbabwe to buy, we call them buy two, get one for free. You understand? It's different. Sundowns is here investing in a player, because remember, maybe a player played in the league 1 season, 2 seasons. He was already dominated, or he get accustomed to the league. Sundowns go buys him. You understand? So, but now with Kaizer Chiefs, they don't want to spend. They don't plan in terms of spending. But when Masamane was there, he said was the former coach, the Al Ahly coach, Piso. When Piso was there, Piso he put up a structure that the strength of Kaizer Chiefs was the scouting. People should forget about the money. Kaizer Chiefs, I always say, Kaizer Chiefs has the money, but they don't want to spend. Pirate has the money, they don't want to spend. They were given 1 billion in terms of only Vodacom sponsor. 1 billion, 500 million. It means 100 million a season for 5 seasons. Are you telling me a club, that's only Vodacom? They have so many other sponsors, but they don't want to spend. So when people talk about money, it's not about the money. There are people that can compete with Sundowns, but Sundowns has the mind and they have the scouting structure to always bring in good players that dominates the league.
Obina, they have money, but they don't have Sundowns kind of money. But we'll leave it there.
Okay. Maybe there's a Sundowns kind of money I don't know about.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Obina. Thank you, everybody who watched on YouTube with us. Simpium Kachwa, Hunadi Mashaela, Kolowang Leswana, Pumelelo Nyoka, The Land of Dope Music. We see LS Media, Mazuma Katini. Soso is trying to rejoin. He lost connection. I'd like to say thank you to everybody who watched. and don't forget to subscribe so that we keep giving you this content. So good evening. Okay, so can't hear me, so we will leave it there. Good evening, gents.
Good evening, boss.